welcome to Mr. Erick Espin.
Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Caleb. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. If my shiny big forehead is distracting you from my name, okay, I wasn't that funny. Come on. All right. My name is Erick Espin. I'm a 12th grade teacher currently at Wheels. And probably like many of you, I came into teaching based on like my experiences with school. And throughout my life, school created a lot of opportunities for me. And I was like selected, oh, you're gonna go to this school. And I was like, oh yeah, everyone can't go to this school. You get selected to this program. And I was like, oh yeah. And that kind of like, when you're a kid, you eat that stuff up. But the more I moved through like the experiences, kind of like my joy and kind of like that pride, I began to struggle with it. And to be honest, it was the realization that the more I was succeeding in life or in school, I was surrounded by less and less people who looked like me. And the narrative is like, oh, you got selected for this because you worked hard and you have this talent and you have this ability, and this is all a meritocracy. So I'm listening to that, and I'm like, well, this is a meritocracy. Clearly people who look like me must not have it, because where are we? Where are the black faces? Where are the brown faces? And I realized like, I'm not with that story. I don't believe that story. Someone made up that story. And the reality of inequity was like fueling this myth of inferiority. And for me, history was what kind of provided more of the complete truth. So I wanted to be a teacher because I'm like, I know I'm not the only one from the block who could do these things. I'm not the only one from my neighborhood who could do these things. And my neighborhood being all my neighborhoods throughout the city of America. And I fell into teaching. Well, I didn't fall into teaching. I decided to be a teacher. And to be honest, I'm lucky. I'm very lucky to enjoy going to work. Okay, well, when I wake up, I'm not like, yay, work. But when I get, you guys know what that feels like. But when I get inside the classroom, it is on. I see my first kid, yo, what's up? Like we're talking, we're cracking jokes. I love it. I love making lessons, creating them, like all of us do, right? And you're seeing kind of these things happen in the room. I love seeing myself in my kids. I love when they say they see themselves in me. I see my son in my kids. And so it's very, very personal for me. And the responsibility is very real for me. And so I love doing my job. And then the pandemic hits, the murder of George Floyd, and I'm a history teacher, so honestly, sadly, it wasn't surprising, but it was a pause. Like time stopped, and you get to reflect on like, what are you doing? Like, what am I doing? Because I wanted to be a teacher to change the system, right? Change it. And then I realized, I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You're just trying to be the best teacher within the broken system. And so I'm struggling. Like, every day is just like anger just simmering. It's just like all around me. I'm sorry, it's all in me. And I think people around me, they kind of be like, oh, does this guy even like us? And it's not even about other people, it's just like there's so much anger in me. And it comes from the realization that we didn't create the system, but I think we do a pretty good job of sustaining it. And I think we do a very good job of maintaining it. Minneapolis, Minnesota, I read a story about, they applauded housing subsidies. All the voters were like, yay, housing subsidies. And then they petition and sue against changing the zoning laws to create the affordable housing. Los Angeles, California, they created a tax to raise revenue to address the homelessness crisis, which we read about so often about in California. Then people are fighting the building of the shelters in their neighborhoods. My home state, New York City, New York, which people love the diversity of New York, yet it retained its position as the most segregated state in terms of schools for our black students. Retained its position. It's the second most segregated state for our Latinx students, trailing only California. We say we're crew, but we probably don't live in the same neighborhood. We say we're crew, we probably don't go to the same schools. And that isolation, that segregation, it makes it almost easier. I don't have to see them. We don't have to go to the same schools. But then you have this concentration of great need. And then that creates these like lovely stories that we should celebrate. But these stories I think can be a little dangerous. Oh, this kid is so amazing in the face of such poverty. Oh, this family is so amazing. Look what they were able to do and raise their family in the face of such, dread. This school is so amazing. Look what they could do in this neighborhood. And I remember feeling like I was being used as one of those stories, just to maintain the system. We can do better, and we deserve to do better. If we believe in EL, we need to fight the system of inequity. If we think there's genius in every kid, genius in every family, and all types of people, then we need to fund those schools that we created as high poverty schools equally as the schools who already have more. And if we believe, as teachers working every day to be the best teacher, we need to fight that system.